The early morning air outside the Grand Blossom Hotel in Gangnam buzzed with an unusual tension. Reporters, photographers, and a smattering of die-hard fans pressed against the cordons, cameras and phones at the ready. No one quite knew what to expect. Some speculated it was a drama announcement, others whispered about a secret collaboration. Yet none of them were prepared for the revelation that would unfold on that small stage inside. At precisely 10 a.m., the double doors to the Crystal Ballroom swung open, revealing a room bathed in golden light, draped in ivory curtains and lined with a single row of long tables. Dozens of journalists filed in, finding their name cards neatly placed, their recorders already humming. But what caught everyone's breath was the sight of the two figures standing at the center, Jung Il-woo and Dara Park, Dara, holding hands. He wore a slate gray suit, understated yet sharp, with no tie. She wore a cream satin dress that skimped her frame like it had been made only for her, her hair pinned simply, a single pearl at her neck. Neither smiled for the cameras at first, though their clasped hands said everything. "There's something we've been keeping," Jung Il-woo began after the initial camera clicks subsided. His voice, low but steady, carried across the hushed room. "Something we've kept even from the people closest to us. Today, we want to tell you ourselves." When the word marriage finally slipped from his lips, it felt as though the room stopped breathing. Some reporters glanced at each other in disbelief. Several pens froze mid-scribble. Outside, fans began screaming even before the doors could close again. But the couple stood calm, nervous, yes, but resolute, as the cameras flashed wildly. Public didn't see, however, was what had happened just minutes before they stepped into the spotlight. According to a hotel staff member stationed backstage, Dara had been quietly crying as she clutched a small scrap of paper, her vows, while Jung Il-woo gently whispered, "Let's be brave, just you and me," over and over. A makeup artist later confirmed she had to fix Dara's eyeliner twice before they emerged. For the next 30 minutes, the couple shared their story, though careful not to divulge everything. But behind their measured words lay a tale of stolen moments and quiet defiance. They first met at a private charity auction in late 2023, an event hosted as an art gallery in Taiwan. According to an attendee who spoke exclusively to us, they had both bid on the same painting, an abstract piece titled Moon Over the Han River. When Jung Il-woo deferred and let Dara win, he teased him playfully, "You'll have to visit my apartment to see it now." From there, their connection grew quietly. At first, they texted only about art. Then came calls that stretched into the early hours. They began meeting in tucked-away cafes in Hongdae and taking long drives in borrowed cars to avoid detection. "I remember one night," said a cafe owner who asked not to be named, "they sat here in the back corner for hours, just drinking tea and sketching on napkins. No bodyguards, no arrogance. They tipped well and thanked me before they left." Secrecy wasn't without its toll. There were days they couldn't see each other, weeks when schedules pulled them apart. Yet they found ways to communicate, sending handwritten letters, slipping small notes through managers, even hiding messages inside books they passed to each other on set. In the room that morning, his voice was barely above a whisper as she finally spoke. "We loved in silence because we didn't want this love to be broken by the noise. But hiding started to hurt, and we realized that love, to last, should not feel like a sin." As she spoke, Jung Il-woo tightened his hold on her hand, his thumb gently grazing hers. Those in the room noted how their gazes constantly drifted toward each other, as if to remind themselves they were really doing this, together. Online, the reaction was immediate and intense. In 15 minutes, the #DaraIlWooWedding was trending globally. It flooded platforms with a mix of tears and cheers. "Is the plot twist I didn't know I needed," one fan tweeted. Another posted simply, "If she's happy, I'm happy." Protect them at all costs. But beyond the virtual applause, the people inside that room witnessed something even more powerful. Two people who had chosen authenticity over fear, love over secrecy. As the first half of the press conference wrapped up, bowed deeply to the crowd. In that moment, the applause that followed was not just for their careers, but for their courage. In the hours that followed the announcement, more details about their journey began to emerge. details that painted an even richer picture of their love. Weeks before the event, a stylist close to Dara shared that she had quietly visited a bridal boutique in Apgujeong under a false name. She tried on at least 20 dresses, stylist recalled, but none of them felt right until she found one that made her cry. That's how we knew. Meanwhile, a hotel concierge revealed that the couple had scouted the venue months earlier at dawn to avoid detection. They came at 5 in the morning, he said. She wore a baseball cap. He carried coffee for her. They walked the ballroom slowly, measuring every corner like it already belonged to them. In a particularly touching revelation, came to light that Jung Il-woo had been secretly taking baking lessons, hoping to surprise Dara with the handmade wedding cake on their big day. A close friend shared that he even burned his hand once trying to perfect a delicate sugar rose for the topper. When it came to their families, the emotions ran even deeper. Dara's mother reportedly burst into tears when they finally told her, according to a family friend. She said, "I knew from the way he looks at you that he would never let you go." Jung Il-woo's parents, known for being reserved, welcomed Dara immediately. His mother even began teaching Dara traditional Korean recipes, something she reportedly asked to learn so she could belong fully to his world. Their friends, too, chimed in with congratulations. CL, Dara's former bandmate, posted, "She finally found someone who deserves her. My baby is glowing." Actor Yoon Shi-yoon, longtime friend of Jung Il-woo, wrote, "You've always been the hopeless romantic. Now you've found your happily ever after." But not all comments were kind. Online, a small wave of skeptics questioned the timing of the announcement, suggesting it might be a publicity stunt. Some wondered if it was damage control for an unspoken scandal. Jung Il-woo addressed it directly. "This is not for attention. If anything, we've been terrified of attention, but love deserves to be proud." Dara, standing beside him, added, "Let them say what they want. The people who matter know the truth." What truly set this announcement apart, however, wasn't just the confession itself but the quiet bravery behind it. In an industry notorious for forced admissions and paparazzi leaks, they chose to take control of their narrative, speaking their truth on their own terms. Beyond the press conference, a few more intimate details began trickling out. A longtime friend disclosed that the couple has a tradition of leaving handwritten notes for each other in a locked box at a small art gallery in Taiwan. When they're in the same city, the friend said, they'll leave notes there just to surprise the other. It's old-fashioned but beautiful. Another source revealed that they've been secretly frequenting a late-night art gallery owned by a university friend of Jung Il-woo. Rather than grand getaways, they spent nights sitting on a bench in the quiet gallery, talking about books and paintings, finding solace in each other's company away from the glare of fame. Plans for their wedding remain intentionally private. Scheduled for October 2025, it will reportedly be a small ceremony with no celebrity and no press, just close family and friends. The couple is writing their own vows and planning to sing a duet during the reception, though details of the song remain a secret. As for their honeymoon, sources hint at a quiet retreat to Italy, a destination Dara has long dreamed of, and where Jung Il-woo reportedly scouted a villa earlier this year under an alias. Their careers, however, will continue. Jung Il-woo is set to star in a historical fantasy drama later this year, while Dara is preparing for a surprise fan meeting and is rumored to be working on a mini-album. When asked about the possibility of appearing together in a variety show, Dara laughed softly and replied, "Maybe after the honeymoon." Toward the end of the press conference, Jung Il-woo turned to Dara and said into the microphone, "I know the world can be harsh, but if you hold my hand, I believe we can face anything." Dara, tears glistening, leaned into the mic and whispered, "I waited for you. You stayed. You loved me in silence. Now I want to love you loudly." The room fell into silence, no flashes, no murmurs, before erupting into applause louder than any encore, more heartfelt than any standing ovation. As they left the stage, hands still intertwined, they paused at the curtain's edge, turned, and bowed once more. In that moment, they weren't just actor and idol, they were simply two people who had chosen each other, against all odds. And though the press conference has ended, the love story they revealed, hidden, protected, and finally shared, continues to resonate far beyond the walls of that ballroom. Because in a world of staged romances and forced confessions, Jung, Il-woo and Dara reminded everyone what it looks like when two hearts speak their